Hey guys, and welcome back to the farm. Today we're going to be talking about paint spray guns and which one is the best for you. So here at our homestead, we always have to paint stuff, whether that's like wicker furniture that we just did, or it's the house itself, or rooms inside. And we've had two very different options here to paint in the past, and kind of wanted to talk to you about which we liked best and which we use for what kind of projects. So basically, you have two different options when you're talking about lots of different paint, and that's your Airless sprayer, and that's like this you see here on screen. This is made by Graco, and this is what we started with and had for a few years now. This paint sprayer is great. They're a few $100s. They can be pretty pricey, but you can cover a large area pretty easily with it. And then the other option you have here is an air sprayer, and this is an air gun you get from Home Depot. This is one of their Kobalt brands, and you can get these for about 50 or 60 bucks. The difference is you need an air compressor with this and a hose, so you're looking at about 100, 120 bucks in addition to this, so about 180 bucks. So I have links below to both of them in the description below. If you're interested in purchasing one of them, you can click the link and purchase it from Amazon there. That would really help the channel. But I kind of wanted to talk about the pros and cons of each one of these options and then see what would work best for you. So first we'll talk about the Airless sprayer from Graco. This thing we've had for a few years now, and it works really well. This thing is just a beast for getting a lot of painting done. So in terms of pros, this thing actually sprays really evenly and easily on a project. It is also really good for large projects. So talking about outside of a house, a room, large swaths of painting, this thing works really well for. And it's really easy to paint. You get a nice even coating of paint. And for the cons, it's really only good for large projects. If you try and use it on a small project, it's gonna take a lot longer to set up and clean up than you're actually painting, and it's just not going to be worth it. And the reason is because if you take a look at the actual painter itself, there's large hoses that go along with it, not only from the intake into the pump, but from the pump to the sprayer. You have a lot of paint that's got to filter through all of that stuff before you can even start painting. So if you notice when you start painting, you'll put the paint like sucker upper thing, intake I guess is what you call it, into the bucket of paint, and it'll actually suck down about, a good chunk of that gallon of paint before you even can start painting and getting it prepped and everything. So keep that in mind. It's really only for big projects. The other con is that it takes a lot to set up and a lot to clean up, because you have to make sure to get all of the paint through all the different lines, and then when you're cleaning up, you got to make sure to get all the paint out of everything to make sure you don't leave any paint in there and it dries and ruins your sprayer. You also have to make sure to use this liquid, this stuff, it's called pump armor, in your pump afterwards. So basically once you get all the paint out and you get it flushed with water, you open this up and you stick the intake into here and it sucks the stuff in. It's like an alcohol solution, and this makes sure to keep the pump from seizing up or sticking if there's any little bits or chunks of paint in there. And the third con is just cost. These things can run a few $100s. At least when we bought it, it was probably 280 bucks or so it can be pretty expensive. So all in all, it's a really good painter. It paints really well, but it's only for really big projects, is what I'd say. So recently we wanted to paint some wicker furniture, and we didn't want to get out the huge Airless sprayer system, so we looked into the air sprayers. We've only used this a couple times, but it has worked super well, and we're really happy with it. So as opposed to the Airless sprayer, which is really for huge projects only, this thing you can use for big projects if you want. It's just really, I find it's useful for small projects. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of the air sprayer. So in terms of pros, these things are relatively cheap. This actual gun here was 60 bucks at Lowe's. You can get the same gun down in the description from Amazon though, so it's really cheap. The compressor that you'll need, we'll talk about that in a second though. You can get them for as cheap as about 100 bucks. So you're looking at about 160 to 180 bucks to get in on this. The second pro to this is it's great for small projects, and that's because this tank above can hold about 500 cc's of paint. So you aren't having to deal with like a gallon jug of paint. You can work with a small bit of paint and work on small projects without having to worry about getting paint through all these lines and stuff like in the Airless sprayer. So it's really good for small projects. The other great pro about this gun is it's easy to clean up. So all you have to do is take off the front, you take off the back, the fluid line here, okay, and then back comes off, spring comes off, and little, I don't know what you call it, looks like a striker from a gun, but that comes out. And then you can also take a wrench and that comes with it and take the little nozzle intake thing off. But basically that's it in terms of cleaning up. You can also take the tub off here up top, and that will help get it cleaned as well. So the biggest con to this air gun here with the air gun painter is settings and getting it running can take a little bit of time to get going when you're getting started. Just because there's a lot of settings on here. You can see pattern, fluid, and then airflow down here. So you really got to mess with all three of these settings to make sure to get the paint to come out in the proper way. In addition to that, you're also messing with the compressor to make sure you're getting enough air into this to get paint to come out. Now, on here it said a max of 35 psi, if I remember right, or in the instructions, and I actually put it up to 50, and then messed around with the settings on here, and then it works perfect. So it did take me about 10-15 minutes the first time just to make sure to get the settings right and to make it work. The other con really is that you need a lot more equipment. With the airless sprayer, everything comes with it to get it running, up and running. With this, you do need a couple of other pieces of equipment. So you'll need an air compressor, like this one here. This is what I use with it. It's a Boss Stitch air compressor. I got it off Amazon. They're about $100, link below is in the description. That thing actually works really well for this. I think theoretically you're supposed to have a bigger air compressor because if you're constantly painting, it does have to recharge and you have to pause and that kind of stuff. But you'll need that, and you also need a hose, which can run about 15-20 bucks. So really, all in all, to get the paint, aired paint gun going, you're looking at about 180 bucks. So there's a few different pieces, but in the end, it's actually cheaper than the airless spray gun. So all in all, I hope that answers some questions about which kind of spray gun you should get or you're looking at getting for your house. We are going to continue to probably use both the airless spray gun for big projects, rooms, painting around the house, that kind of stuff. And then we're going to keep this and probably use this air spray gun more often now, just because it's better for smaller projects and works really easily and cleans up really easily. So yeah. So hopefully that answers any questions. If you do have any questions about any of this stuff, you can feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. Like I said, I do have the links to all of these products in the description, so if you're looking at one or looking for a good one, make sure to click those links and you can help support the channel there. I only basically subscribe or put the Amazon products that are really good, high quality, and then I use myself down there. So check those out. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. We really appreciate it. If you like this video and like this content, please click the subscribe button below so you're notified of all of our new videos that do come out each and every week, and make sure to turn the bell notifications on. Also, check out the two videos here and here on your right and left that YouTube has suggested for you. One is our latest video, as well as the YouTube's best suggested video from our channel. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.